greetings, salutations, welcome back to Morbid Monday. We've had a fantastic little pre-show conversation, and now I'm excited, because I've got him riled up, y'all.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. If it has anything to do with the pre-conversation, then yes. This is like one of my massive pet peeves. It's like this and fake martial arts. I don't know why that pisses me off as bad as it does, but it fucking gets under my skin so hard.
So desperately and deeply fucking amused. I cannot even express to you. All right, so we've been discussing Asian cultures, and because we're gigantic geeks and our various hyper focuses land in different areas. Mine tends to stay in like Britain and Europe, and occasionally venturing down into pieces of Africa. Like, I don't have a vast knowledge there, but anyway, let me catch myself on that ricochet moment. We are in England today.
Okay.
Allow me to cast your mind to 12th century England. Do you know vaguely what's going on right about like 1066 to like...
Oh, 1066? Yes. 1066 exactly?
I mean,
yeah.
Pray go on.
It's a very famous battle that happens in 1066 exactly. We've got Normans coming in.
Yes, the invasion of the Normans.
William once called William the Bastard, and now called William the Conqueror. Yeah.
So this
weird half skinheads coming in on their horses with javelins.
So this is a time of upheaval. Like, shit is changing, regimes are popping up and breaking and dying and being taken over, and William the Conqueror.
In one of my most favorite morbid history things ever, his tax collection book.
Yes!
Which is the Doomsday, which I love. Anytime I get a chance to mention that, I'm just like, the fucking Doomsday book is...
There's so much. There was so much. The rabbit hole I went down. Like, I know that, like, earlier we were talking about, and we were dancing around this topic because I didn't want to give him any clues, because you are remarkably knowledgeable in random historical shit. That's a face.
Yeah. When you store whiskey for a long time, if there's a lot of airspace, sometimes the flavor changes dramatically. It's still good, but it's got this weird, like...
thing at the back end?
Yeah.
Yeah. That face said, "He gets."
I was like, ooh.
So, this particular period is just... It's a blender of change.
Yeah,
because there's so much happening.
We're in the Viking Age. We're in the Thane age. This is Saxon country in England, and also in many parts of Europe.
There is so much the fuck going on. Like, this is a period where, like, legends are being formed. Yeah. Right? Because, like, there's shit like William the Conqueror, otherwise known as William the Bastard. He's one of those historical figures that is a little bit of a, there's some mythos to him.
Yeah, you have a hard time, like, imagining him in your head.
As a real person?
Yeah, because he's such a big character. And his grandfather, in the saga of Ragnar Lothbrok, which everybody thinks, like, when they watch Vikings on History Channel, thinks it's just fucking dead set history, and it
is not.
It's from the sagas, and the sagas are weird. The sagas are they have no sense of time.
Bro, most of the Viking sagas, how many of them have you read? Because I've read quite a few.
I've read a lot. I was interested in Ragnar Lothbrok because of the show. And then, in the show, his brother is Rollo, and Rollo is a real person, and William's grandfather.
Yes.
So, like, they are the reason why it's called it would be called Normandy.
Yeah.
Which is the place of the Northmen. And so, like, it's called Normandy because the Vikings were pillaging Paris up the river, and the king, like, they make a deal. And essentially the king gives an amount of land to these Northmen, and they say, like, hey, we're having a hard time fighting these Vikings. Look out for Vikings for us. So these Vikings fight any Vikings that come up the river. And it's awesome to me. And those guys do what all the Vikings will eventually do, which is they are in close proximity to Christianity. They figure out real quick that Christianity is profitable, very profitable. And also, in a pitched land battle, if you take 100 Vikings and 100 Holy Roman Empire soldiers,
fucking Vikings,
they are, well, as long as the Vikings can leave. The thing is, if they get into a pitched battle, they're fucked. They just don't have the economy for it. They don't have the armor. They don't have cavalry tactics. They don't use bows a lot. The Northmen do, but they get it from the French.
Really?
Yeah, because the rest of the Vikings don't do this.
Did not.
The Normans
Today
preferred to ride at you, throw javelins, and like bank hard right.
Yeah.
They didn't fight like other Vikings. They're very weird. They fought like Frisians or somebody. Like they fought differently. And they get these cavalry tactics from the French, almost certainly. And then so they're moving around, they're doing all this stuff. They're different. They're different, and they're this weird mash of French and Scandinavian that makes for an especially deadly combo. But that's
so no. I thank you, because like I said, this is a period of, oh my Jesus Christ, there's so much going on. Like there is so much going on. Like we get William the Conqueror takes over, and then like things begin to change. Like you get the feudal system coming down in England. So like
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't think about that very often. But like before this point in history, that doesn't really exist.
That's not a thing.
It's the Saxon Reeve system, the sheriff and Reeve system. Yeah.
So like you have like the king and the church, and then you have the lords and the knights, and then the serfs, and like the serfs are getting traded with the land.
Yeah.
And like they're having to pay like mafia dues.
Your fridge is showing hard.
Yeah.
Your fridge is showing hard right now. You're like, wave the banner. We'll burn down the bourgeoisie.
Don't judge me. So that's the system we're working with, and it's new to this area, to these people. Like there's a lot of like chafing under it.
Yeah.
Because they're very used to being able to come and go as they please. Mm-hmm. Like you're not paying fealty to any knight or lord or anything. You live here, you work the land, this is your land. Oh wait, I am now owned with the land. Fuck me.
Right. The idea of like essentially debt slavery.
Yes, like it's in fact it is almost exactly that. It is indentured servitude. Yeah. Like your payment for living there is working the land for these lords, and it's ridiculous to me. Yeah. So not even a squabble, really. Like it doesn't begin that way as for like the heir to the kingdom as such. Like the first son obviously is going back to the Normans.
Oh, it was like the Norn.
No, not the Norn.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was reading something in my brain, like deleted half of it, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
So obviously the first son is Normandy, and then the second son is named the heir, and there's just this kind of kerfuffle because like William abruptly dies, like he takes that knot wound, like he's obviously been internally injured, like because I believe the story goes that he fell over the pommel of his saddle.
Something like that.
Something.
There's a lot of those weird things where it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe he just had like appendicitis and died.
Bro goes out nasty.
Yeah.
Like it's he lingers, and then he has one of those like last minute like, oh, and one of his sons, the second son, whose name I cannot currently remember. It's in my notes somewhere, but my handwriting is illegible sometimes.
Well, I'll look it up while you're going.
Well, anyway, I know the first son's name is Robert, and he's like spicy about it, but he goes off to rule Normandy, and then the second son is in such a fucking rush to like get crowned king that his dead father just kind of like hangs out in the chapel, continuing to be dead while he's coronated, right? And like this
that makes sense for them though. Because a lot of, like, this was true of, like, Charlemagne was really one of the first of the Franks to do this. Mm-hmm. But they didn't used to have dynasties.
No.
You would separate all the land between your surviving heirs. And so then the sons would, like, fight.
Yeah.
And this is true, like Norse families as well, is that they would fight each other constantly. And it kept them extremely limited as to, like, how much power they could amass. Mm-hmm. And until, like, the Merovingian dynasty thing happened. That was one of the benefits of Christianity. Christianity came with cultural hallmarks that were like, and there's a king, and the first son is the next king. You know, like, so if you're the second son,
And then he like was in. He's like, I'm the king.
Yeah.
I'm the king. I need to go be the king. So there is this rush to get him like crowned king, so the land can stabilize, and that's obviously not what happens, because Robert, the first son, I cannot remember this guy's name. I want to say is it Henry?
That was probably like Ingle Dick or something like that. Like,
it is Henry.
It isn't?
I was right! Henry the First.
The very first. Okay.
So Henry the First, like, is in a rush to get crowned king, right? So he's like, let's go! And his decaying father just kind of gets left in a chapel until they're done, and they're like, oh, right, we should do something about him. Anyway, in nomine patri, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Because probably not Catholic in, the 12th century.
Catholic, but...
Probably not Catholic as we know it.
Probably not as you know it, yeah.
Requiescat in pace. Anyway. Yeah. So William the Conqueror would go on to be, stuffed into a lead coffin that didn't quite fit and explode.
As you do.
As one does.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
A regal pipe bomb.
Literally.
That's fucking great. The sound must have been phenomenal. Because, like, they're so heavy. Lead coffins are so heavy. And it would have been gas.
Specifically, what I found in my research was, like, comments about the smell. And how no amount of incense and or airing out the chapel
I'm sure.
would do anything the fuck about it.
I hope it's set there like a steam pot on top of, like, a skillet. So when the gas builds up, it kind of does that, like that. Like, just out of nowhere, just like, and I hope it happened in the middle of mass.
Oh,
just real Ray Stevens shit. You know what I mean? Just hilarious. Like, yeah.
So William the Conqueror would pop, and then they would inter him, and then the chapel would reek. And so Henry the First would go on to, like, try to be king, but, like, his brother Robert would be like, hey, bitch, I'm your older brother, and pick a great big fight. And this would go the fuck on for, like, the entirety of, or not the entirety, because, like, Henry eventually wins. Like, he basically beats Robert back and is like, bitch, you fucking thought? And then he invades Normandy and wins, and Robert is subdued. And so Henry's like, all right, cool. Yeah. Okay, now it's my turn for my dynasty, right? This poor man, well, I guess poor. He goes on to have one daughter. Her name is Matilda. She marries someone else, and she, like, basically is an empress.
Yeah, I know about her. She wears a little yellow coat, has magic powers. It may or may not exist solely in her mind. One good teacher, and the other one's a terrible bitch.
Oh my god, the Trunchbull!
God.
Chocolate cake! Anyway. So, he would eventually, like, he would give up on this idea of a son, and he would name Matilda his heir, and, she's trained and all of that. She's obviously an empress somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, he dies. Right. Whoop! Out with the old, in with the new. Matilda comes in and she tries to take her throne, like, her right. Mm-hmm. And she's literally usurped by her cousin.
Yeah, that tracks, because
Stephen
now...
the First.
We're... Stephen?
Stephen!
What a great name. The most regal of all names.
Could be Stephen, could be Stephen. Yeah. I read it as Stephen because it made me giggle.
That's so funny. And, like, in cultural context, right? Women could rule pretty easily. Not super easily, but...
Well, and she was also married, too.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, the English throne, as it was, would, like, come with her to her king consort husband, or, I guess, emperor.
Yeah, and you basically had, like, your pick of the litter, basically. Yeah. Like, whoever you wanted.
But anyway, so Stephen came in and was like, nah, bitch. Sit down. You already have a kingdom. Shoot. And they fight. And that is a war literally called the Anarchy. And it goes on for 19 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So he must have been, like, backed by the Saxons.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, they're like, well, this lady's not English. You're born here. She's not.
Yeah.
Or, like, she's tied to the Normans.
It is a fucking mess. Like, literally, you can look it up. The war is called the Anarchy, and it's 19 years, and it's, like, she doesn't win.
The Anarchy. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the period that we're in. Like, just all of this, all of it. And in the middle of this comes a story. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of this.
The name The only thing I know about this is that it's called the Butterbox Babies.
Nope.
Oh, are we doing a different thing?
Yes.
It's total surprise.
I have pulled a fucking bait and switch on you yet again, and I'm so sorry. We'll get to the Butterbox Babies eventually.
I think it would be hilarious if we just kept not doing...
The Butterbox Babies are here. They're next.
It just says ooh.
It says ew.
That's so fun. I also have one planned on syphilis that will probably never happen.
You have syphilis, I have the Butterbox Babies. The final episodes of this entire thing are just going to be the Butterbox Babies and syphilis.
Yeah, the Butterbox Babies have syphilis. What?
Probably more than a few born with it.
Genital syphilis.
Alright. So, in this period of war and upheaval and oh my god and all of this happening and all of these poor people are like, we're fucking serfs now? The fuck's a serf?
Right.
I am my own person. Oh wait, no, I'm owned by this knight who is owned by this lord who is owned by the king who is owned by the church. Fuck.
In a weird, because they had way more power at the time.
Yeah. Like.
In a weird, loose way, though.
Like, the king could go, no.
Yeah.
But the church could also go, yes.
Right, they had spiritual pressure.
Yeah.
A la Bleach. I'll use my Bankai on you.
Oh my god. We're dorks. Alright, so allow me to direct your attention to the county of Suffolk. Right?
Okay.
And then we're gonna...
Still around.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go a little deeper into it, to this town and or village called Woolpit. Right?
That's name.
Break apart the etymology of that name.
Woolpit.
Let me you know what? Guess at it. I want to see if you are correct.
So for Woolpit, from like modern English, I would think it was a place where there's a lot of sheep, but I don't think that's the case. I think that like those words have warped quite a bit.
A little. You're not terribly far off. It is a community that does deal with sheep, but that's not where it got its name.
Fuck. All right. So I don't know, because I don't know what, like, I'm assuming that probably it was like Woolpit at some point. And then, but I don't. So Suffolk is southern England. Yeah. So it's like, what is that area known for? There's the Myres. Like, there's part of it that's like a big swamp.
That's a little that way.
That's a little that way. Yeah, that's further to the side. And the only thing I know of it really is that it's known for like, I think, like lime and stuff.
That is a little bit this way, actually.
So we're in the middle.
So Woolpit,
because like White Horse and stuff is off to one side. So
Woolpit gets its name from how it dealt with the just problem with wolves it had. They dug literal pits with like traps to kill the wolves.
All like spike pits.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
Woolpit. So this town that's where it got its name, right? And it is, according to the folklore around all of this. No, you're gonna see why I got you all riled up earlier. So, according to all the folklore around all of this, Woolpit is just Woolpit. It is a town. It's kind of sleepy. It's doing its thing, like, you know, with the sheep trade, like wool and meat and milk and
yeah, sure. Like you've killed all the wolves, or at least the wolves are probably scared to death of the fucking place because they go there and die. So now you have perfect pasture land.
Yeah. So there's just not the fuck a lot going down in Woolpit. Like it's just Woolpit.
Woolpit does sound like a weird euphemism. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
for an obscenely hairy woman.
Like, for an obscenely hairy man.
I would also, yes, I would, yeah.
Woolpit, the fuck?
And his dryer balls. I would like to also, before we go on, mention, without too many spoilers, of the previous episode, which was on screwflies, that we mentioned that screwflies sometimes will pit and will grab hold of the perineum. I didn't make one eaten ass joke. Not one. And the next day I realized that, and I was just like, I'm disappointed in myself.
Like, you can always go in and voice over one in at the end.
There's not a taint, not a grundle joke, not one.
I think I said taint.
Yeah, that's true. You did.
I think I did. I was thinking it. I'm not sure if I said it, but I was thinking it.
I was thinking taint. So Woolpit.
So there's not the fuck anything going on in Woolpit until one fucking day. As as it goes.
Sweet. Yeah.
One fucking day, like, the little herder people, like, all of the shepherds and whatnot go out to do their thing, and then there's just 2 kids hanging out by one of the actual wolf pits. Not terribly unusual because, you know, there's kids everywhere. They're surrounded by various settlements.
Yeah, sure.
But the thing is, these kids are green.
Like painted green, or they
Their
are
skin
green?
is green.
Sweet.
Their skin is green. They are dressed strangely. And they don't speak any language that any of these people speak. They don't speak English. They don't speak Latin. They don't speak French.
Please tell me, because my brain's going in 2 places. Either we're dealing with, like, feral children, or we are dealing with the Welsh, like Celts and stuff, that have just been gone, and nobody's found them yet.
Nobody knows. Because these children don't speak English. Like, they are very clearly, like, tired, beaten, malnourished. Not beaten, but, like, they've been...
Yeah, disheveled, like,
muddied,
roughed up kids. Yeah.
Like, from what they can only surmise has been some kind of journey, because they've just kind of appeared at the edge of the woods by one of the pits that they use to catch and kill wolves. Just a pair of green kids. They're dressed weird. Nobody, like, obviously no one recognizes them, because, I mean, you'd find it hard to forget a green child.
You would certainly remember, even if it's just, like, earth that was put on them and, like, tanned to their skin or whatever, green. You would fucking remember if there was, like, a local tribe of people that does this. Yeah. You would know about it.
They are a complete and utter befuddlement of a mystery. Nobody fucking gets it. So, like, they take these poor children in because, I mean, they're good people. Like, you know, oh my god, they're kids, let's help them. They try to feed these kids and they won't eat anything. Like, you know, I'm sure they gave them, like, stew or bread or, you know, any sort of, like, the village staples, right? And, like, the kids will take nothing. They don't know what to do, so they call the knight, right? And I wrote his name down. Richard Decane. Calm. Once again, my handwriting. Illegible. So they call Sir Richard and they're like, we don't fucking know. Help?
For the purposes of this episode, I will say that his name is Richard. Yes. Richard Decame, because it's very funny. Please come, knight. He decame.
I think it's Decalm.
Yeah.
But I'm not really... I did all of this research, like, way earlier, and then my handwriting is shit. One day I'll get better at it. Today is not that day. So anyway, they call Richard, and Richard's like, oh, hey, these are some green-ass kids. All right, come with me. Bring them to my castle. It's probably not a castle. It's probably more closely to what we would consider, like, a townhouse.
So oddly...
Oh?
Bit of history. So the big square keeps that you see in the middle of castles, those are Norman keeps. And many of the center strongholds predate the curtains around them.
Okay, cool. So it probably is a castle.
Yeah.
Maybe not specifically as we would consider, like, you know, a Disney castle.
Right. Certainly not like that. But more like big square stronghold. Yeah.
So he takes them in and, like, he spends a couple of days trying to figure out who, what, when, where, why, and how. Like, he calls doctors, he calls priests, he calls experts, he calls scholars. Nobody understands what the fuck these kids are saying. Because, I mean, obviously they're speaking. Yeah. Like, you know, they're children. Children don't shut up. You raised one, you know.
Yeah, they got questions.
Yeah. And then, like, they're fucking green.
Imagine half their questions was, why aren't the rest of you green? Yeah, like something, I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of weird fucking thing.
Yeah, so eventually they figure out that these kids will eat broad beans. Do you know what a broad bean is?
Yes.
Like, in modern terms?
Like a pea or something? Not a
fava
pea.
Beans.
Fava beans. Yeah, it was like, they're called that because they got a big, like, hole.
So insert Chianti joke here and move on. So they figure out that these poor kids who have now been with them for like 4 or 5 days, and have eaten nothing, have probably been subsisting on water, will eat raw broad beans.
Raw?
Raw.
Yikes.
Like, it is specifically documented raw broad beans.
It's shitting.
So
they're green, they're nauseous.
Jeez. It begs the question, what the fuck can turn your skin green? Like, I mean, obviously there's, like, copper contamination.
That's where my brain went immediately.
It could be one of those situations where, like, they're jaundiced and maybe, like, the translations, because, I mean, English now versus English then, two different animals.
Yeah, and several things are the same name.
Yeah.
There's a blue that's like that. That's the word for several hues.
Recall also that Greeks didn't have a word for blue. Right. For the longest time. Yeah. So they would often describe the sea as wine dark, you know?
Yeah. So,
like, it could be a mistranslation. Like, they could have been, like, jaundice. Maybe there were liver problems. Or, given their fucking diet, an excess of chlorophyll. What was that called? Chlorosis? An iron deficiency can also kind of turn you a little bit greenish.
I can see
like,
that.
if you have an olive undertone.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like a color trick, essentially.
And then the most prevalent, really, because my God, the rabbit hole I went the fuck down, because my brain wanted to know.
Yeah.
Green? Is that even possible? Yes. The most common theory is hyperchromia anemia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hyperchromia anemia, which is like a porphyria, I'm guessing. Like
it falls under the iron deficiency thing, but it kind of goes hand in hand with the chlorosis, given their diet.
That's crazy.
So it is a combination of an overabundance of this with an under of this, and you eat green.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So if you just eat nothing but if you eat nothing but raw beans of the wrong kind of bean, you will die.
Well, yeah.
But if you I suppose in their case, has anyone ever tested this? Like, can you?
Not really. See, because
that would suck, dude.
Well, and you also have those people that like will eat too much carrot.
Yeah.
And become orange.
Yeah, our president. That's how he.
and you've got those crazy moves that drink colloidal silver and turn blue.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit. Or swallow nickels because for the same reasons they get stuck in their pores and they turn blue.
Yeah, like it's so weird. So
I have one question about these kids.
Okay.
Will we like them if we get them angry?
Well, eventually. They coax the kids into eating other things. Like, they wean them off of this only beans diet. And, like, they begin to lose their green hue. Like, they turn into pink.
That's good news.
Right?
If they don't, like, turn, like, fluorescent yellow or some shit,
And they think, they're just, that was fucking weird. But these kids still don't speak English. Like, they're like learning. Like, there's a lot of pantomime happening, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But eventually they're just kids. And then the boy, because it's a brother and sister, dies. Like, he gets sick, he weakens, he dies.
Okay, yeah.
And
a pretty common occurrence in this time period.
Right. Like, the child mortality rate is bonkers.
50% for like forever.
And the little girl survives, and like she will even go on to like be baptized and like given a little position in the knight's household, and eventually she learns to speak English. Like, she figures it the fuck out, and finally they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, where did you come from?
Who are you?
Why did your brother not survive so that I could make at least one Green Knight joke?
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
The whiskey is lubricating the funny bone.
Period. Yes. So she takes the name Agnes, right? It's important to remember that name. She takes the name Agnes, and finally they're like, Agnes, what the hell? And she tells her story. She tells the story that they have come from a subterranean community, village, place, a land beneath the earth of constant twilight, where there's just kind of this ever-present greenish glow. And they just live there, and everyone under the earth has green skin. Everyone in the community has green skin, and they're just people. They're just living. And she calls it St. Martin's Land.
So there are so many things that I have to point out. First off, in our subterranean world, right, we don't have English, even though it's under England. I suppose it's under everywhere. It just kind of keeps going. But, like, you've come out in England. We don't have English. We do have Catholicism, though. That has made it. We've, made sure. When Jesus went into the tomb, there's one other exit. And
when Jesus went into the tomb, we had a doctor waiting.
Yeah. That was wild. So, Because, like, now I'm thinking, like, okay, she's under the ground, and I'm thinking, like, okay, she's like an elf or something. But then it just seems like they're people. They're, like, normal people with, like, churches and shit. And
according to her, she and her brother were out attending their father's flock, and they found a cave. And children being children, they went to explore the cave, and they got lost, and they traveled in the dark until they popped out on the surface near Woolpit, where they were found and taken in. That's it! And she mentions that there's a river that runs through their community, and across the river there's like a place, but she doesn't really name it. Like,
yeah, Hades, that's what it's called.
She's a kid, right?
Yeah.
She like, I presume at this point she's probably like, their ages are never specified is the thing, like anywhere. And like, there's 4 different versions of this, and I've read all 4 of them. And like, at no point do any of them say, and they were 7 years old, and they were 10 years old, and they were 11 years old.
Yeah.
She's a child.
If they said child, usually they would mean, I would think anyways, in their day, because of the, a lot of early Catholicism is still riding hard on some of the Jewish stuff. So maybe like below 12.
Right?
And
like
then,
that's my thought. Like, in my head, they kind of exist in this story as like 7, 8, because you know, they're also attending their father's flock, so they're old enough to like be conscious of perils and dangers and things, but like, you know,
old enough to swing a big stick.
Yeah.
Not old enough to be considered a young adult.
And like small enough to be swift.
Yeah.
Like that would be my initial thought there. But Agnes will tell her story, and then that's kind of the end of it. She integrates into Richard's household. She actually will go on to marry into nobility.
Yeah, because I guess you're kind of like auto-famous, because you're like the green kid.
Yeah.
You know, like...
And here's the thing.
From St. Martin's Land, was it?
St. Martin's Land. That's what they called it. And, like...
I think I have the
story written out here.
I'm pretty sure they play Newcastle in the Premier League.
So yeah, she will go on to get married to Richard Bear, who will become you know that name.
No, I don't. I just think it's very funny that a woman who just said she went through a cave married a bear. It's very poetic.
Yeah, Richard will go on to serve King Henry II as both a judge and an ambassador. So
I do know this person.
So she straight up is like, she's a historical figure. You can look her up.
It's spelled like Baer or something.
Barre.
Right? Yeah, that's what it was like. I know it's not like bear as we would spell it. It's a different. Yeah.
It's so like I said, there's about 4 official accounts of the Green Children of Woolpit, right? And like they share largely the same beats. Like, a couple of them vary in detail here and there. Like, it's always the broad beans. They're always very green. They're dressed strangely. They don't speak English. The boy dies. They don't... Did I say they only eat beans?
Yes.
And then when the girl finally, you know, learns enough English to tell her story, like, the land is underground, perpetual twilight, everybody's green, and there's a river. What?
Yeah.
It's...
the actual fuck.
Fucking... wild. It's so weird because, like, if you think about it, and this is why I got you all ancient aliened up earlier.
Yeah.
Because it plays into, like, well, we'll go into that in just a second. Modern theories about who these kids were fall into, like, the medical diagnosis of the hyperchromia anemia, which would be why they were faintly green.
Yes.
But not like... maybe not Hulk green.
Green giant green. Yeah, I've been eating a lot of peas. The name's Lissur. Yeah.
But the modern theory is that they may have been Flemish immigrants or refugees.
Okay.
Like, because the Flemish would have had a strange way of dressing. Their language would have been...
oh, not even, roughly. Yeah, it would have been wildly different.
And given the time period, the Flemish were also, like, kind of in a mass exodus, like, running the fuck away from, like, not only overpopulation, but, like...
yeah, just political turmoil.
There's stuff going on. And, like, considering that comes from, because, once again, we touched on this earlier, there are both chalk pits and tin mines.
Yes, the tin mines, yeah. Being around copper, specifically.
Yes.
That was the thing that I was like, it's gotta be some kind of dirt. Because, like, that's my immediate thought was that, because in southern Africa, there's a tribe that say a tribe. There's a nation of people, a large group of people.
Yeah, they use the clay to dye their skin.
Use the clay, yeah, and it protects their skin and it nourishes their hair and protects their hair and all that kind of stuff. But it dyes their skin like a kind of copperish red. Mm-hmm. And I could see either a kind of clay dyeing like that or a just general like green woad.
Yeah.
And that maybe some culture has that I'm just unaware of, and that's why they would be painted green.
Well, given the kind of vibe of the time, like you're in a period of upheaval, like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening, like a bunch of like not only native cultures, like you have the Celts and the Viking,
who are still very much an issue.
And then you have the English, and like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening all at once. And the thing that I find in most cultures is that there's almost always an element of, like, the fair folk.
Yeah.
Like, there's always kind of this...
It does ring very much like they came from the unseelie court out of a cave and a midsummer, like a endless twilight sounds very elvish.
Like it's giving fairy.
Yeah.
It's giving, like, the changelings, but, like, there's no swap happening.
Yeah.
You know? And so in modern kind of dealing with it, theories in general, they're like, were they just like Flemish kids that got lost? And cause like it's said that they were scraggly, they were malnourished.
Yeah.
Like they didn't speak the language.
But there's no like natural way underground anyways to get from mainland to England.
I know, it's so weird. But I mean, there are documented Flemish settlements are kind of like around in that area.
Yeah.
But you also have to consider that like if they were refugees, if they were running.
Yeah.
Being underground, like they were taking shelter in a cave.
Yeah.
Maybe, and like as kids do.
Yeah.
They bend their perception to understand.
Yeah, if you're like malnourished kid, and then 20 years later, somebody's like, "Hey, what?"
It probably wasn't 20 years later. It was probably like 2 or 3 years later. Because, the immersion technique in learning a language is proven to be true.
Yeah, if you live it every day, you're going to learn.
She would have picked it. And especially with how fast the neurons in a child's brain fires, she would have learned English very quickly.
In a time period where not speaking English perfectly would not have really even been, like, special.
Yeah.
Because, like, the nobility are all halfway speaking Norman.
Yeah.
And, like, that's really why, like, in English, our fancy-sounding words are all kind of French.
Yeah.
It's because that's where that comes from. It's like the early English nobility were separating themselves. Like, the first real ruling class of England were all, like, French. You know what I mean? Like, they were all from Normandy. And then our regular words, our day-to-day words, are all English
mugged,
words.
like, 7 languages in a back alley. Give me all your verbs.
Yeah.
Like, fucking...
And it's strangely enough, like that little like group of islands is crazy because a lot of the, like, we think about like things like Sotheby's, right? Like the word Sotheby's. Adding BY to the end of a name denotes that it's a town in Old Norse.
Huh.
So if you hear like where I'm from, a town a town that I lived in for a small amount of time when I was a child, was called Crosby.
Ah.
And it was Crossby, if you were saying it in, like, older style English. But it's the town of the cross. It's, like, that's the root of where that comes from. And then, like, 1,000 years later, it's just somebody's last name.
Yeah.
And so, but that's where all this weird, like, BY or ton, that's, like, an Old English thing, is or not Old English, but a Chaucer era English, that's Old English. But anyways. But a lot of those, like, little suffixes are, like, Norse. Some of them are French. Some of them are truly old. But, like, if you look at the Welsh language, I mean, their names for shit are wild. And you're just like, well, y'all were, like, some of the originals, Yeah. You were... And Saxons, Angles and Saxons are coming from what is now parts of, like, Germany and stuff. So they spoke...
Language is crazy.
Yeah, like, their Old English is more akin to German than it is anything else. And, like, it's a weird... Yeah, language is fucking weird. But, like, green kids...
And the fact that the one that survived turned pink, like,
Turned pink?
Well,
How did I miss that?
No. Not like...
Oh, just like...
Not like rosy pink, but like, you know...
like apricot.
Flesh-colored.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Regular.
I was just like, what the fuck? Did she eat a lot of shrimp? What the fuck happened?
She just integrated, like, they...
Yeah, sure.
And it's rather poignant that they seem to associate the way that the children changed colors with the introduction of different foods into the diet.
Yeah.
Like,
well, because I don't know if humor theory was a big thing at the time. I'm sure it was.
No clue.
But like maybe they just thought of it in terms of like jaundice or you know, like or any kind of like pallid color from not eating enough. That's really.
It's odd that they specify green though.
Yeah, and then when they became healthy, they stopped being green. It's got to be some kind of poisoning thing. Yeah, like something. That's really... But
Agnes Bear is a real person. You can look her up in history.
That's crazy.
But the story, the Green Children of Woolpit goes down as folklore. And like even now, like I went digging, like specifically yesterday. I went digging around to see if I could find anything like a modern spin on it or like kind of coming at it from a less historian perspective. And I found a short story on r/NoSleep of like a modern kind of perspective on the Green Children of Woolpit, and it's unfortunately unfinished, and I checked on it and it's like 6 years old. So it's like 7 paragraphs and it gets you good. Like you're like, yeah, where's the rest of it? And then there's not any. I was mad. I do have it though. I saved it for you so you could read it if you wanted to. But it's really cool because like the discussion in the comments is largely like, were they visiting Fae? Were they just sick kids? Was it just, you know, a kind of colorful cultural way to explain Flemish refugees?
Yeah. Or if this was like, so, yeah, because here's a possibility of where my head goes. So when a baby is found and you try to explain it to other kids where the baby came from, you suddenly just have a baby.
Yeah.
And no pregnant woman has been seen.
Dark.
We say sometimes that they were from the Cabbage Patch.
Oh, yeah.
Which is green. And so, like, I wonder if there's any connection there.
Maybe. I don't know. But the fun thing is that, like, it opens up, like, especially when Agnes would speak about St. Martin's Land and how it's under the ground. How it opens up, like, the kind of predisposition that humanity kind of has to wonder about subterranean worlds.
Sure, yeah.
Because, I mean, you have the underworld from Greek and Roman, like, specifically the underworld. And we have myths about people traveling down into the earth, into the underworlds. And then, like, you have Sheol from Judaism.
Yeah.
And the Buddhist Shambhala, Christian hell. And then you start getting into like more fantastical things like Agartha. I had no fucking idea what that was.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Hang on, 2 seconds. Let me get you like an actual...
I just thought that was what a real southern person called somebody named Agatha.
Ha! Well, it's
That's stupid.
So it's supposed to be this like legendary underground advanced kind of society and or kingdom at the Earth's core. Ooh. Which, now we're tapping into, like, the hollow earth theory.
Yeah. There's lizard men or whatever down there, yeah.
And then, consequently, like, you brought it up earlier, you have the fairy mounds.
Yes.
Which were said to contain entire worlds within them.
Yeah, because in that, you're, like, in a different realm. You've gone somewhere else into another world.
Like, you have passed from, like, through the earth into elsewhere. And then, like, following in history, you kind of have, like, the Oracle Caves, which were, like, the precursors to the catacombs.
Yeah, and the, maybe not. This might just be dismissive of the tradition, but maybe, like, methane vents, but, like, certainly in a cave that was holy for some reason.
Yeah.
And an oracle is going to tell you the future.
High as fuck.
Yeah.
And then it persists. Like, those are like historical accounts, like cultural things, like with the exception of like Agartha that I had no fucking clue what that was. Like, I had to look that up because I was like, the who?
Yeah, I've never heard that. Ever.
Never heard of this.
So what does it say what culture that is?
It doesn't really, like, it follows into the hollow earth theory.
Oh, so this is like a modern thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. That was
I was thinking that was like there was like some.
No, I don't think this is historical.
Frisia or whatever that was like, yeah, there's people down there. What?
Well, apparently there was like a video game that included it somewhere, and I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but like in largely in modern media, like you have the one that everybody knows is just Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Sure, yeah, the Jules Verne, right?
Yeah, and King Kong touched on that same thing.
Yeah.
And Doctor Who? You remember all the lizard people from Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned like the lizard folk, because that's where like that weird like conspiracy theory stuff about people living in the earth.
Even most recently is like How to Train Your Dragon.
That's right. Yeah, they do go down into a.
And of course, for all of my comic book geeks out there, you have the DCU's Atlantis.
That yes, that the Agartha thing very much rang
as DC Atlantis.
You know what's crazy about that? We know what when it's referred to. I think it's by Plato or somebody or Aristotle. We know what Atlantis they were referring to. That's the crazy within a pretty good approximation. There was only one place that was ever referred to as Gnosis by like the Egyptians and the Lebanese referred to it as Gnosis. Not Atlantis, but like the place of knowledge is Gnosis, right? And that would have been Crete.
Yep.
There's a Minoan civilization, which would have been extremely advanced for its time. But it's not like they had flying cars and shit. They had indoor plumbing and earthquake-proof walls. You know what I mean? Like
and then like their harbor was...
Yeah, because that's what's described is like this
the concentric rings of the harbor.
Yeah, concentric rings of the harbor, and people pointed out that Crete had one of those, and so did Carthage. Carthage had a big artificial heart.
I forgot.
Yeah, so
Carthage had that.
This is like an old world thing, and so like they're like, yeah, this is probably just like super advanced, but it's probably like a longing for things that aren't in their culture anymore because they're more landlocked and.
Recently, this kind of has popped back up as like one of the backing things for the Hollow Earth because people starting to get real fucking excited about that aliens thing because apparently the aliens don't live out there, they live in the Hollow Earth.
That's where this is going. God damn it. It's always fucking aliens. I swear to God.
And the Earth's not round. No, it's flat.
Is this the whole thing? This is what people's...
I'm not sure if it's like an actual thing or if it was just like the series of threads that I wound up on. Reed, stop looking at me like that.
But regardless, I just got real judgy that shows reading these threads. Regardless, there is a group of people that are using 2 green children next to a fucking pit trap.
Like some 800 plus years ago?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, far more than that because that would have been 1160 something anyway. Math, I'm bad at it.
I do have to also mention that like this is a thing in general. The simplest answer is usually the case. We are talking about a point in history where there are sea monsters. Mm-hmm. The sea monsters in Beowulf, some of them exist. And we would call them narwhals.
The Kraken's real.
Whales.
The Kraken
is real. Especially when your ship is 20 feet long.
Yeah.
Right.
Giant squid, fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing. The scale matters quite a bit. When you don't have guns and all that kind of shit, if you swim and a fucking sperm whale comes out of the ocean, you're fucked, right? Like the average boat split right in two. Yeah. It doesn't matter, right? If a narwhal wants to stab you to death on your boat. Blue whale
gonna breach, you're gonna die.
Yeah. If a humpback whale comes up to breathe, your ship's getting split in half. That's a sea serpent, right? Like, cause all you see is the hump and your ship gets cracked in two.
Yep.
So, because you got a shitty wooden boat in fucking 1066, right? You're Corrigal. You're out there in a little fucking Corrigal. Off a White Horse Bay, you know. I think it'll catch me a cod today, you know, like. And then just a big fucking fish just comes into the water and slaps the shit out of you, and then you're like, it's a monster.
And manatees were mermaids.
Yes, that's the thing. Is like people had these hyperbole is a thing.
Yes.
In the past, and so like. When the world is that scary and you know nothing about it, everything becomes fantastic.
Well, so, and remember, the edges of maps used to say, here there be monsters.
Right, because, like, no one's ever come back. Yep. There's got to be something killing them. So, And when I hear, like, in reality, like, green kids, I'm kind of like, yeah, they're probably a little green. If we're just taking a real responsible, critical eye, maybe a little bit green, right?
These kids either had a very, very pale complexion, or they were a little bit on the olive side, and they may have been jaundiced or iron deficient.
Yeah, I've seen images of iron deficient people that had a kind of
green cast.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like almost like the lighting was bad or something. Like there was an overhead, like a overhead bulb that had a green film over it or something.
Yeah,
and it's just a little bit, just barely. And so, like, I'm like, yeah, okay, that would improve with diet, and it would go away. All that stuff makes perfect sense. Coming out of a cave kind of makes perfect sense if you got bonked on the fucking head real bad or something, right?
Yeah.
Chances are, if you were a Flemish kid or you were like a Norman kid or a Frisian kid and you wound up in England, you probably got snatched up. That's probably what happened. And so, like, you're just like, I mean, some literal Viking came up, bonked you, put you on a ship.
Yeah.
And you don't really remember where you came from, or you don't want to, and this is a fun little story you're about to tell.
As kids do.
Yeah, so I'm like...
a land of perpetual twilight.
Right.
With a river.
So, like, you're just like, yeah, sure, whatever. And, like, there is a land...
Going underground.
By the way, there is a land of perpetual twilight if you're very, very young. It's called the Arctic Circle for about half the year.
Oh, that's true.
So, if you're some Scandinavian kid that got fucking dumped in England and a failed raid, that might be what you think. Also, in their own myths, there are people that live in the earth. The dark elves and dwarves live in the earth.
Yeah.
So, like, that's in their own cosmology. There is an inside of the earth where different worlds are. So, I would think this is my
rationalization.
This is my rationalization. I have no proof. I would think if I were gonna like just make a rationalization for this, Scandinavian kid gets bonked, brought on a ship, gets dropped off. One of them dies, so the other one can make up whatever the fuck they want, or that's how they see it. What's crazy to me is what you just told me is there's definitely a group of people out there that are like, our sole piece of evidence, our fucking, this is our Einstein moment. We've got two different guys with telescopes. We're going to prove time is relative to gravity. This is our fucking thing about how the earth is really flat. And there's an inside alien lizard people, and they live in a land of perpetual twilight. Our thing is a vague story from like 1090.
Yeah, it's
about two green kids.
It made me cackle because I was all over. Like, Tony brought this subject to me because I was going to do the Butterbox Babies. Like, I was like, it's time. And then Tony was like, hey, what about this? And I went, but there's like only this much of this.
Yeah.
I need like an hour and a half, 2 hours of this. And then I started digging. So not only is the era itself just one that lends itself to fantastic tales as people attempt to like rationalize what is going on around them, because this is bonkers to them. Like, their entire way of life is changing. Like, I mean, obviously you have cultural touchstones with stories and, like, regional things that will remain the same. But your kind of social climate...
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like, you have been taken what is essentially as a freeman. Like, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can leave. You can sell your land and go away and do something else. And now you are landlocked as a serf.
Yeah, certainly if you were in the Anglo-Saxon way, like, 'cause they had slaves.
Yeah.
Like, that existed in their society. But if you were a free person and you own land, or you were a craftsman of some form, or a soldier of some form, like you had some kind of military prowess, or were just in a really large family, you had some say. They were way more clan-like than they were anything else. But the early feudal system is 100% about milking a fucking cow. It's just like, from the Doomsday Book on, it's just like, here's an account of who owns what.
Yep.
Who are the barons? Who owns what? Who are the reeves? Who are the, and everyone's going to pay a tax on their stuff because I own it now.
Yep.
The feudal system is the crown owns everything, and it is allotted accordingly. The only time that doesn't really hold true is with the barons. And the barons are different, though. The barons are like in the out. They don't live around castles and cities and shit. They live in their own shit.
Yeah. So
it's a wild time, and also these people are excellent storytellers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All through.
Well, it's what they had to do.
Yeah, from this period on to like the 1400s. There's like the Ranald the Fox tales. There's the Canterbury is doing his tales, and he's telling all these stories. There's a ton of stories that are just like we would now call them Arthurian legends. Most of them are from the 1800s, but a couple of them are super old.
Yeah,
it's really awesome. I hate flat earthers so much. With such a huge, I know that was like a whiplash.
No, I get it. I understand
them so much, and people are like, well, you know, they have a couple of no, they don't.
No, they don't.
Because here's the dumb thing. It's all dumb things, but if you stretch the Earth out, right, and they're like, well, you could still first off, if you stretch it big and flat, you have to rationalize if it spins. How come gravity isn't changing? Because it's big, it's flat, and it's spinning around a center. Like, shouldn't there be some kind of centripetal? You know what I mean? Like, shouldn't the revolutions of the day change as you go inward? Something. There's going to be some exaggeration.
Well, it doesn't spin like this. It spins like this.
Yeah, fuck some shit. And then somebody was like, "Well, it's not truly flat. It's like kind of a big oval." And I'm like, the Earth is already a big oval. It's just not as exaggerated, right? Like, the equator already bulges out.
My favorite piece of the flat Earth bullshit is that the Earth is flat, but there are entrances into the hollow part of it, like the inner core of it, at the poles. But because of, like, the magnetic interference, we can't get equipment up there to look at the entrance into the Earth. Because all of our compasses say, "Oh yeah, you're at due north."
Yeah, that's how they explain the magnetic north thing.
But nobody's
So what you're saying,
aliens.
And it's also like, can you please explain to me, given everything we know about, essentially what that that belief is stating is that the world is Saturn, is the rings of Saturn without Saturn. Because if it's got an entrance at the top and it comes at the bottom, then the Earth is a big fucking donut.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got a giant thick ring.
Thick.
And a thick ring. And nothing in the fucking middle.
I don't get it.
Yeah, so you're just like... I
genuinely do not get it.
What the fuck? The whole thing is bonkers to me. Because they're like, hey, how come the oceans then?
Yeah.
Right? How come water? And because gravity is still a thing that people believe in. So, like, gravity.
Obviously,
how come water?
I mean, I'm not floating out of my chair right now.
Yes, right. Like, there's some things that are just not deniable. And then you just go, like, how come water? Well, there's a giant ring of ice around it. And is Jormungandr out there too? You know, like, what do you mean there's a fucking thing? Is because... Is the sun in the middle? Is that why we're warm and it's cold there? Like, how does that... What the fuck?
I don't know, but
It doesn't... Like, it seems like their idea is the whole world is a dinner plate with a hole cut in the center. And the hole cut in the center is the mantle, the magma of Earth. And so it's warm in the center.
I wrote it down, but apparently the Earth's crust is 800 miles thick. And then, like, once you breach into that and you get into the hollow, like, inner world of it...
I'm getting so angry. Because if the world is flat, but the crust is 800 miles thick, we are slowly getting into what is just a sphere. The fuck are they talking about? It's a football shape. You know, like, that's...
When I tell you, I was laughing maniacally reading this just essay.
Yes, on
like,
why...
like, just them rationalizing and explaining it. Because I am one of those people, and it may be, like, my fatal flaw here, of... Tell me what you believe.
Yeah.
Tell me why you believe it. Make me understand. Explain it to me like I'm 3.
Yeah.
Oh!
See, the problem with the flat earth stuff is that they do explain it to you like you're 3. But they also explain it like they're 3. And it just stays that way. You just stay in 3. And these fuckers are undoubtedly hitting this Reddit post using a cell phone that would only work Here's the maddening part about the flat Earth shit, especially, right? Because I was about to say it would only work if the Earth is round because of how the satellites are positioned, right? They're triangulating.
Oh, but remember, we've never been to space, remember?
And also, it would still work if the Earth is flat, and that pisses me the fuck off. Because so much of it is like that. So much of it is like, well, maybe the Earth's just a dome shape. Well, then your Memphis. If you've ever seen that Carl Sagan thing where he's got like an obelisk in Memphis and an obelisk in Cairo, and they can tell the Earth has a change in like latitude and longitude by the shadows. Mm-hmm. They can kind of measure the curvature of the Earth by the shadows and get a pretty good edge around how like big the planet is and the difference in time zones and shit like that. And so, like a lot of stuff. You can figure out a lot by watching 2 points and their shadows.
Yeah.
You can figure out a lot. And so I'm like, if you have a lot of time and you're real good at math. And so I'm like, awesome, Carl Sagan. But if you say, like, the world is flat, except for it's kind of like a big upside-down bowl. And then you're like, fuck off. Because now we're back to sphere. Now it's a flat Earth, but all the rules of the sphere now apply because it's a fucking bowl. And you're just like, motherfucker, I'll kill you.
And the crust is 800 miles thick.
Yeah.
And then you get to the hollow Earth, and it's another world. And it's full of mythical beasts.
Yeah.
And aliens.
And
because I don't understand, like, this is where the Green Children of Woolpit tied into the aliens thing, because they were like, and they were attempting to assimilate into human cult. Why?
Yeah, why would they give a shit?
Why?
If they were so advanced. Why would they give a fuck about you? This is the alien stuff that I buy all the time. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Is the people who see, like, I saw there was a ship, it came over here, and then it just left.
It took one look at all this and went, fuck that, and left.
And I was like, yeah, because a fucking intergalactic being would stop and take a photo of your goofy ass in Iowa and then leave. Because I take a picture of birds all the time. You know what I mean? Like, all the time. That is rational behavior for, like, a true alien race, is like, unless they show up in mass.
We're a wildlife refuge, man.
Yeah, like,
we don't register as a society or a culture to them yet.
Like, World of the Worlds makes more sense than abduction stuff, right? Like, because I'm like, yeah, because they would be strip mining the planet.
And
strip mining makes sense, you know, like, so you're just like,
we've
not
gone from
ethical
folklore to like.
We're rationalizing aliens.
Wretched fucking.
Then in the abduction, the like abduction and testing.
Tag and release.
Yeah, that makes sense because we know what tag and release is, right? Yeah. But the like, and I want to speak to you, you know, Abernathy McGillifuck of Talladega, Florida. I need to. I need to know about you specifically. You're the one. You're the one that will herald in a new age.
Hey, Abernathy, your delusions of grandeur is showing.
It's always...
You've got main character syndrome, bud.
It's always that, like, you know you're special because you know the thing that, like, the current thing is you've got the truth and the woke mob doesn't know the truth. You know the truth. And Q is going to give you the truth. You specifically. Maybe you are Q. You know, like that kind of shit. And I'm like, bro, one of my favorite things from history. This guy definitely had depression. But he wrote a lot and he was very successful. And he is definitely the manosphere philosopher. But that's because they don't understand the guy that wrote the book. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, soldier, goes up through the ranks, becomes the Emperor of Rome. Wild. Definitely had depression. But one of my favorite things about Mark, he was the Stoic. He wrote on meditations.
Stoicism as in general just kind of fascinates me because I cannot resonate with any of it.
It is definitely, it only makes sense if you have a fuck ton of power and you need to cool yourself down a little bit.
I get that.
Right? I think that's why it's so popular with white men. but like, if you have a lot of like wealth and influence and power, Stoicism makes a lot of sense. To rationalize the world so that you don't become like an egocentric asshole. Right? In that vein, if you're like a tech millionaire, yeah, maybe you could use a little Marcus Aurelius. Because my favorite thing about Marcus Aurelius is that he had a slave. That's not my favorite thing. That's a weird way to phrase that.
Hang on.
He had a slave this is in Imperial Rome, right? So they're around. But he paid him specific, because there's different forms of slavery, right?
Probably more along the lines of indentured servitude.
Like a debt bondsman, right? But a guy would stand behind him And his job as Marcus Aurelius' slave is that whenever Marcus Aurelius was in the forum or he was making a grandiose speech, he would lean forward and he would whisper in his ear, "You are just a man."
Yeah.
That was his entire job. Because Marcus Aurelius was the fucking emperor of Rome. You know what I mean?
And Rome was the power.
And people were constantly telling him like he was like a god. He could be deified as the emperor of Rome. And his whole job was to lean forward and say, "You are not special. You are just a man." You know, like, that's the whole thing. Now do what you're going to do, but understand that you are not a god.
Yeah.
You're not the chosen. You're just a person who is wound up in this position at this point in time. Do the best you can do with that knowledge. And that's amazing. Like Marcus Aurelius' daily thing is he would get up, he would meditate, and he would meditate on himself sitting there. And then he would meditate on his place in the room, his place on the street, his place in the state, his place in the country. You know what I mean? Like he would take these concentric rings and make them bigger and bigger and bigger. And what he would find is that once he got past Rome, he didn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
A guy in Assyria knew who he was, probably, but had no sway over his life. You know what I mean? Like he didn't care. A farmer in Naples didn't give a shit. You know, like he was just like, yeah, I got tomatoes to, you know, like, so it helped ground him. But I think about that sometimes when we get into this like flat earth or conspiracy stuff, because I'm like, someone needs to fucking whisper into these guys, because it's always guys. There's very few women. Like when you look at any fucking photo of like a conspiracy theorist meetup, it's all guys about my age. Like, it's all guys that are kind of looking for a special knowledge, you know, like anything like that. And some for fun. Like the crypto guy. Not the crypto guy.
Cryptids.
The cryptid guy. The
I
cryptozoologist
love the cryptid
guys.
dudes.
They are fun. Because they're like,
them.
isn't this fun? We're going to go look at for fucking Sasquatch. If it's real or not real, it does not matter to them. They're in it. They're in it for the game.
I
for the
will
love of the
comment
fucking game.
On the cryptid stuff. Like if I'm on Facebook, Reddit, wherever I'm at, I will comment and ask questions on the cryptid stuff. Like you know, I got a thing about the dancing pants.
Yes, because it's fun.
I love the dancing pants. The Jersey Nightcrawlers, by the way.
Yeah.
They look like pants. They look like white pants that just walk around.
Just running through someone's yard.
Fucking dancing pants.
Disembodied white pants.
But I will comment on the cryptid stuff. I will not. Like, I will go through and read and ghost and giggle on all of, like, the alien, like, ancient alien, flat earth. Like, obviously, because that's what I've spent this week doing, is just giggling my way through these articles and sites. And, like, I did spend an inordinate amount of time on Reddit for this one. Because sometimes you just gotta follow the white rabbit, man. Because it's funny. But I will not comment on any of that. I'll talk to the Warhammer guys.
Yeah.
But I won't talk to these guys. Because, like, you look on my, like, let's say, for example, Reddit. You look on my Reddit profile, I read female. Like, from my name to my general posts to what I'm following, all of it, every bit of it says that's a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Or a really femme dude.
I didn't even fucking think about that. Yeah, if you dropped your name in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, eaten alive. No, thank you. But I'm still, it's literally 72 hours later, and I am still trying to figure out why the fuck the Green Children of Woolpit?
That's pretty strange.
Why is that the hill you chose to die on? Like, what?
Yeah.
That is such a teeny tiny, like, I'm not even kidding when I say this, it's maybe 8 paragraphs of folklore.
Yeah. Like, if I were trying to rationalize people living in the center of the earth, right?
Yeah.
Here's where I would go. You mentioned it earlier. Every culture has an underworld.
Yes!
Right, so I would, there, one of the, Alex O'Connell is this guy that, like, kind of debates, religious people. And he's a professional debate artist. That's not my thing.
Listen, I get mad and cry when I start, like, arguing about things, so I just don't.
Yeah, I don't really watch his stuff, not because I dislike him or anything like that. It's just that I don't see a point in debate for money. You know, like, if your job is to be a debate person is very strange to me, because I'm just like, that debate to me is kind of bullshit. It's not what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's supposed to... two people are supposed to get into a room and debate each other about strongly held positions one way or another and find truth in the middle.
Yeah.
That's not what they're doing.
No.
It's a points game. It got turned into a sport at some point. We're no longer in the Stoics. Two people are walking under a stoa and talking, or a dialectic or anything like that. We've left that a long time ago. It's philosophy nerds playing football.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just like, all right, cool. But he does have this thing where Rainn Wilson, the guy that played Dwight Schrute from The Office, asked him what the best argument for God was. And he goes, it's not any particular argument. It's that there's so many of them. It's that you could spend the rest of your life defending against the endless amount of arguments. And I find that, like, that's the position I would take if I was trying to rationalize people at the center of the earth. I'd be like, because everybody's got one. Everybody's got a myth about people living in the center of the earth. It's a bad argument. It's not a great argument.
Consider that most of the arguments for some sort of something at the center of the earth, like in the general mythos of it, is an underworld. It's full of the dead.
Yeah. And you can kind of see how we get there, right? First, it's dark, goes in the center of the earth. If you go too far in, nobody ever seems to come back out. And also, like, methane caves exist. Yeah. So sometimes people go into the underworld and they just die. You just watch a guy just fall out and die.
Well, and returning back to the Oracle thing, because I mentioned briefly the Oracle caves, the Oracle of Delphi.
Yeah.
She was high as fuck!
Right. yeah.
Sitting on a fucking crevice that can't, like, it was a vent.
Yeah.
It was a volcanic vent.
Yeah, so she's breathing shit that's making you see weird shit and think weird shit. And then, like, you can kind of draw the line. And then it has to go through the priest to interpret it. Like, she's high as fuck. And the oracles are supposed to be like an Apollo thing. Yeah. But, like, being close to what is essentially Hecate and Nyx's realm.
Yeah.
Would tie that, like, magic and prophecy in there. And then, like, the priest, who is probably priest of Apollo.
I mean, you can rationalize that any which way you want, but the point remains, like, the underworld, Hades, hell, like, all of these places were underground, where you put your dead.
Yeah. That's, like, the most morbid part of this whole episode, because we do, like, it's, like, you know, like saying, like, the most morbid of the Morbid Monday, the most morbid part is that human beings cannot stop.
Yeah.
Dude, we just can't. We can't. It's like lizard people or giant worms, or there's like devils in the ground, or there's something. There's always something when it's out of our direct sight.
It's
like,
fear of the unknown.
Yeah, Descartes got this thing where he's like, you know, the dualism is everything that is unseen is belongs to the divine, and everything that is seen belongs to, like, science, right? Like, and when we cannot fucking observe it, people really do just build crazy shit. And also, as a side note, how many of these threads, when you really dive down flat earth or hollow earth stuff, how much of it ends at anti-Semitism?
Oh, yeah.
That, like, all of that weird, like, conspiracy theory shit, like, you go down the rabbit hole long enough, someone is superior to someone else. It's either anti-Semitism, or it's, like, the Yaku guys, or, like, you know, like the Hebrew Israelite dudes have, like, a black supremacy thing, or it's a white supremacy thing, or it's a, you know, like, you're just like, fuck, dude, what the hell?
I don't know, but it was both a treat to be that amused at, like, a subject that I was already working on, because it just popped up randomly, just bloop, over here.
Yeah, here's a harmless, neat story about two...
Tinfoil hat time! Oh, really?
Yeah, two green kids, and you're just like, oh, that's neat. That's weird. I wonder how that happened.
Click, 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 flat earth.
It's the flat earthers.
Click, 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 hollow flat earth. Click, 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 click. Aliens, fuck.
Yeah.
Now I can't not do this one.
Green kids turning the freaking frogs gay.
I thought this one would be fun, because I know how you feel, because we've had pieces of this conversation before.
Oh my god.
And, like, I take the trickster's joy in bringing it back up to
you. Dude, I will say that, I'll say this for the hollow earther and the flat earther guys. This is the one grace I can give them.
Okay.
The grace that I give them over the ancient aliens guys is that well, here's the thing. It's really just one thing. There's no A, there's no B. There's one thing. the thing is they're not coming at anyone specifically usually. Right? Like, if you go down the weird rabbit holes, you'll wind up in a weird place where people are like, and they come up and they pretend to be people. Which people? Then you got to answer that question.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg, obviously.
Yeah, right. That one out. See? That's a better defense than green kids and the fucking tins. We've all seen him on the stand.
Oh, fucking blinking that third eyelid.
And then you can be like, and they're aliens with advanced technology. We're like, well, he does run meta. Yeah. These aliens are kind of useful sometimes. But that's the whole thing. The grace that I can give them is
integrating into human. Why?
Yes.
Fucking why?
Yeah, why? Are they capitalists?
We are.
You know, like, it's an emerging market. What's going on here?
Invasion.
They're harvesting your adrenochrome. What? You know, like, it's all that shit.
Witness me. I fucking, what?
They can have it. You know, like that. I'm just like, bro. But so, I'll give this to them, like, Ancient Aliens guys, because so much of it especially is about Egypt. Mm-hmm. Or it's about, like, the fault line in the Bermuda, in the Caribbean. There's a big, like, fault line, and they're like, it looks like stacked bricks.
What the hell?
Yeah, they can push the door open.
Hi.
The cats have come. We were talking about their subterranean overlords, and they appeared. Dude, that's the thing that I can give them. I can give them that the ancient alien guys often minimize the accomplishments of a culture at the expense of that culture, right? Like, they look at the Nubians or the Egyptian kingdoms, and they say, like, well, they couldn't have possibly built these things. And then you say, why? It's like, well, they didn't have iron tools. They didn't have tempered steel tools. And then you kind of go, yeah, but limestone just cracks. You can make big splits in it. People can still do this. And they were like, well, how'd they get them so flat? It was like, well, you make the block bigger than you need it.
Also,
and then you
sanding.
Sand it. Yeah, like, that's how you do that.
So there is...
Welcome to Carpentry 101.
There is, in fact...
You know, like, fuck, dude.
A archaeological kind of scientific thing happening in England, like, right the fuck now. Like, they've been working on it for 12 years, where they are building a stone keep.
Mate.
With,
So is it England or France?
I want to say it's in France.
Yeah, because they've got like a walking crane and everything going.
It's so fucking cool, but they're specifically using only the technology available for the time period.
Yeah.
And they're showing that we can do it.
Yeah, that one guy, like, breaks rocks because he kind of looks at the different rocks. He goes, that's about the tensile strength that I need. And he just takes a big fucking hammer and just cleaves it off.
He has a wooden pick.
Yeah.
Like, it is wood. I cannot stress this enough. It is made of wood. And he takes this wooden pick, and he has his little mallet, and he goes chip, 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 plants it, and then hauls back and crack, and you watch this beautiful split, and it's almost perfect. And then he sands it, like, exactly how you think you would sand it.
Yep.
Hand flitter on the thing, rock, sand.
Grit motion.
It's insane. It's so cool. And then they have the walking crane like you were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't understand why these people, and okay, now I'm getting a little heated about it.
I told you, look.
Why they're taking the success of our human ancestors away from them.
Yeah.
Because they did these
things.
And
they make dumb associations, especially about, like, Egypt, right? They say, like, well, they use these massive blocks and we use much smaller blocks. It's like, yeah, we were putting a lot more curves and shit, guys.
Yeah.
It's hard to make, like, hallways when you use 2,000 fucking pound blocks. You gotta make them smaller. You get the twists and turns and crenellations and all that kind of shit. It was like the Egyptians, when you go into the inside of the tombs and you look at the chambers and such, the blocks are, in fact, smaller.
Who fucking knew?
You know, like, and you're just like, God damn you sons of bitches. You know, like, and they're plastered over in the chamber rooms.
And they're painted, and they're these beautiful paints. Which, like, leads you to go, like, hey, they built this in layers. Yeah. They did all this at different times. And then you just go, like, yeah, fuck, dude, everything about it is you're just like, well, they couldn't, without a crane, they couldn't have possibly done this. Well, I'm like, a ramp has no limitations on how long it can be. Yeah, and to you know, like, to follow up on your like, the fixation they seem to have with Egypt in particular. I think they forget the time frame in which it is recorded that all of these monuments, these temples, these palaces, these tombs were built across lifetimes. 20, 30 years. And we as a modern kind of meh are so used to megalithic structures going up in a matter of a year.
Yeah, like the bones of a skyscraper being largely completed within
6 months.
5. Yeah, within 5, the place is mostly built. It's the finishing work that takes forever.
Yeah.
It's all the plumbing and everything else.
We're used to these structures, our buildings, our homes, our schools, all of these things going up in a matter of like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Highways being completed in 4 years.
Yeah.
Highways. Think about that.
It spanned like maybe 100 miles. I mean, like the ones that we see in the Houston area all the time.
Yeah.
They'll fix a bridge in a matter of months.
Yeah. But these structures that we are taking the credit away from these ancient peoples were built across decades.
Yeah, sure.
I
mean, and with a fervor that, like, we have scrolls from guys that were helping build.
We have graffiti.
Yeah,
from dudes that were helping build shit.
Yeah, from like during the time of Ramses II. And
oh yeah.
He was said to have he would come down and drink beer and stuff with like the builders and stuff. And a lot of these guys, most of them were paid, number one.
Yes.
These were experts. This was not grunt labor. These were craftsmen that were being commissioned to do this, that used big blocks to create marketplaces and fortresses and everything else. They built temples. They repaired temples. They built houses. This was not a new medium. It was just larger than they would normally be doing. And there were experts that built monuments. We know that for sure, that there were architects that worked specifically on like temples and pyramid structures and stuff. This was their literal religion for their god king. So it was like, I like to point that out to people a lot, because I'm like,
can you
imagine Jesus Christ came down and was still like around, and he was like, yeah, we want to build this big thing. How many millions of people would show up for that?
Yeah.
So there's guys like from all over the kingdom of Egypt showing up just to do this.
Also, on that vein, imagine drinking beer with your god king.
Yes, for real. Like,
just chilling.
Just imagine God came down and he was just like a cool dude. You know what I mean? Like,
just a bro.
Yeah. As you're like eating meat around a campfire. And I'm like, that's the climate that we're in here. But we've all been kind of conditioned to think that construction labor is like some kind of grunt work, which it's not. It's educated labor. Mm-hmm. In the case of like mega structures, highly educated labor. And then like on top of all that, I don't know, we started talking about green kids and they were like, fuck these ancient aliens.
Well, no, because it tied in, because that was like, I told you, I started doing all of my research on it, and I was looking for like modern spins, modern kind of opinions on it. And I found the story on r/NoSleep, but my search popped back, like pinged back with the Green Children of Woolpit in other, like, really unexpected places.
Yeah.
Like, the Flat Earth place, the Hollow Earth place, the Ancient Aliens, and I was just like, what?
So you know what's doubly crazy, right? So to add more evidence against things living in the center of the earth, whatever, stuff. There are things that live very, very deep in the earth. We have, for instance, a gold mine in South Africa that's like a mile into the crust. It's fucking hot down there.
Yeah.
And there's no light. Nothing lives down there but like extremophile bacteria that grow on the rocks. If you see a bug a mile down into the earth in a pit you dug, well, you brought it there. It was on your body. It was a spider on your shoe or some shit. Right? Like, that's how they get down there. One of the issues with, like, drilling into glacier lakes that are, like, trapped in ice, because we want to see if life continued organically down there, we may have clues to how life started, right? And, like, Lake Vostok or something. The problem is, when you drill down in there, you run the...
Yeah,
you run the risk of bringing... Yeah, you're contaminating the area.
There is, to follow that... There is this, like, canyon or something. Canyon or cave. I can't quite remember. But there is some sort of, like, lake that's I want to say it's in a cave, in a canyon. It's very, very deep. And it's the only place where they have found, like, living fish that deep in a secluded system. And, like, I want to say one of the oil companies, like, kept trying to buy it, but because those fish were only found there, it's a protected zone.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is. Of course.
And there have been assassination attempts on these fish.
Oh, because if they die, we can buy the oil land?
It's
of course.
It's fucking wild, but, like, the life forms that you find that deep, like you said, are going to be extremophiles. They're going to be bacteria. They're going to be simple. Like, the fish that they find in caves, blind.
And I'm sure they're, like, 2 inches long.
Oh, yeah, they're teeny tiny.
Yeah, everything is usually very, very small. The idea that an advanced intelligence life form, roughly the size of a human being, is living somewhere in the crust of the earth.
Let alone green.
I was like, you better find me some fucking bioluminescent trees. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they said that it's a constant twilight of, like, a dim green glow.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
They live next to a lava flow in a cave. And you know what I mean? Like, that's...
St. Martin's land, but Catholicism made it down here.
Yeah, that's what's fucking crazy. I was like, you got monks, but we don't know what this is.
Fucking what?
The Bible made it there.
What? Yeah,
St. Martin's land.
It was a very, very fun sort of subject because, like, you know, what caused the green skin? Like, that could be any number of deficiencies, let alone a liver problem or just given their vegetarian diet.
Yeah.
That too much fucking chlorophyll.
Yeah.
Or they ingested copper.
Yeah.
There's any number of, like, medical explanations.
There's a lot of shit. I'm like, we found 2 kids. They're highly nauseous. You know what I mean?
They're very green.
Yeah.
A little green around the gills, a little green around everywhere.
Yeah. And then there's, like, you stack that onto the fucking fact that, like, here's where my brain initially went when you said St. Martin's. I thought of St. George. Because it's England. So St. George... The image of St. George, like stabbing a dragon, is super old.
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably from Turkey.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. So it's an image that is popular. People like it. And, like, Crusaders come back and forth. They bring the shit. And everybody brings the shit back and forth. They like the image. The image is super rad and awesome. It's like a hot rod with flames or some shit. And, like, they draw it everywhere. People put it on artwork. They put it on paintings and patterns and all that kind of shit. And then...
Well, it's human nature to draw what you see, too.
Yeah, and then it becomes a part of damn near every culture along the way, and everybody's got their own story. And St. George is killing a dragon, right? Like Bellerophon or something. He's on a horse, he's stabbing down a dragon. And it's like, if you were Saxon, first off, you wouldn't be fucking wearing plate mail and stabbing it with a lance. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, it was like, the whole thing is like, this guy's, did he invent the heavy cavalry charge? What's happening here? But that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that, like, we just make shit up all the time. It's very likely that they were a little green. One of the brother dies. Maybe they're just sick. And then she grows up and then she's like, if I make up a cool story, I get to maintain my ability to be a noble.
Yeah.
Or if I'm a normal kid, I get to be a normal kid in feudal England.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm from St. Martin's land. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I would make up some fucking crazy shit to keep that status.
It fascinates me because, like, it is in fact a folk tale. Like, it's not, with the exception of the identity of a few of, like, the named players that are consistent within, like, the 4 different reiterations of it.
Yeah, right.
It's just a story.
Wouldn't it be neat if there was, like, an older version that we don't know of yet, but we find it and it's like a Green Man tale or something that gets, like, slowly morphed.
Yeah.
But using that as justification for a journey to the center of the earth kind of thing is so wild. Like, it's consistent with the amount of crazy, but it is fucking wild.
Cracked me up, dude.
And why, like, the thing is that they know, right? Because they're just like, it's hot and there's no sunlight, so it's got to be like fucking lizards. And
it's going to be so still. There's no wind.
Yeah, and so it's got to be like a cold-blooded creature, otherwise it would die. And so you're like, there's a teeny grain of logic in there. And then you just go like, yeah, but what the fuck does it eat? Oh, do they have to come up to eat? Is that the whole thing?
But they have flocks, remember?
Do they, what?
That was part of her story, which is she and her brother were tending her father's flock.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason lizard people were moving in fucking V formation for a second.
Flying V.
Pterodactyls?
What about dinosaurs? Anyway, sorry, learned that last night.
That's right, they had sheep in the world of Twilight, this Twilight, and...
I don't understand why they picked that one to go with, but like...
They were the two Greeks left behind from the Odyssey.
Fucking hell.
In the Cyclops cave.
Who's been keeping you? Nobody.
Yeah.
What?
Fuck, he's at it again.
Damn you, nobody. Anyway.
Shit, god damn it. I do. They and on a because I think we're pretty good into it. Maybe I don't know this went pretty good. Time wise and storyline, it's a neat story that I've never heard before.
I was familiar with it. Like I already knew about the random Green Kids of Woolpit. Like that falls right into my little weird purview of like random European folklore.
Yeah.
That may be fae.
Yeah.
Maybe not fae.
It does kind of remind me slightly of like a Reynald the Fox type story.
A little bit,
it's like there's a little bit of a cool
like it
ending
feels mystical.
Yeah.
But
I do love though. I don't love it. I fucking hate it. I despise it to my core. When you talk to the flat earthers, the hollow earth guys, the amount of confidence, the utter fucking audacity. You know what I mean? That they look at you in the face and just act like you're the asshole when they're telling you this dog shit. And you're just like, people debated for a long time if the earth was round or flat. They did this for a fucking minute. And in theory, it was round for a long time.
And then we made it to space.
Yeah, and even before that, one of the whole fucking thing about the Northwest Passage and stuff is like, well, if you do it, you've proved the Earth is round because you've gone from tip to tip.
Yeah.
You've proven it. Even though we've already proven it mathematically and we've proven it basically philosophically, but like the whole bullshit about like fucking about like Columbus and Magellan and stuff, and they're like, well, they thought the world was flat. No, they didn't. Most people in Columbus's time who were educated knew the world was round. They thought it was smaller than it was. They didn't think it was flat. And so if somebody like Hernan Cortez or some shit that believed all kinds of dumb crap knows that the world is round.
Mercury.
Yeah, fuck, dude. It's so...
Take you a draught of Quicksilver.
There are there are documentary films with like rap intros. There's a flat Earth rapper.
What?
There's a flat Earth rapper.
No.
And his music was on a docu series about how the Earth is really flat and it's all a conspiracy. At one point they go, yeah. At one point they go up in a plane and they literally look at the curvature of the Earth.
Homie's name is Bob.
Yep. Oh man.
Ugh, that makes me sad. But no, like, even, I feel like so I personally feel like all of this, like, any sort of maybe flat should have been put to rest when we got pictures of the Earth from space. But remember, these are some of the same people that claim that we've not been to space.
Well, you gotta commit to the bit, right? Like, it was all filmed. Now,
Katy Perry's been to space.
You want to know?
Shut the fuck up.
Right. Fucking Christ. Here, you want to know an actual conspiracy that is actually does have a grain of truth in it?
Oh?
So that whole Hollywood, it was all shot in a Hollywood studio and all that kind of stuff.
Are you kidding me? Have we not seen, has the world not seen the episode of Mythbusters where they bust all of it?
Yes. So here's the thing. Here's a bit of information.
In Adam and Jamie we trust.
Yes. Here's an actual bit of information. It is very funny to me. And also, it's so simple. Like, when you hear it, you go, yeah, of course. That makes perfect sense. One of the links in the original conspiracy theory was the camera lenses. Mm-hmm. Was that those lenses were used in film. Because they were low-light lenses. And they were, like, developed for NASA. And they were used in movies like Barry Allen, where everything's done by candlelight. Mm-hmm. Because of the light exposure.
Yeah.
So one of the threads is, how the fuck did these people like Stanley Kubrick get these lenses so fast? You know, how did they afford them? How did they get them? Because they were the lenses. They didn't get a different one. They got the lenses.
Oh.
And they were like, how did they get them and all that kind of stuff? And one of the guys that posted a plausible link to this was like, because the conspiracy theory guys are like, well, they filmed it all in a Hollywood studio. And somebody popped in and said something that is probably true. And one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard about a conspiracy theory. He's like, was it filmed in a Hollywood studio? He's like, almost certainly, before they went and did the real thing. Because if you're Neil fucking Armstrong and you got one chance to step off of that thing, give your little speech and be a hero for the rest of your life, wouldn't you want to practice it?
Oh, yeah,
just
that's
once?
True.
The world is watching. These guys aren't actors. Wouldn't you want to practice it?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, that's...
wouldn't you want to set up a little mock moon landing and practice this a couple of times? And
yeah,
I was like...
That's completely fucking valid.
And I was like, wouldn't you want to get the camera equipment right? And what you know is almost pitch black. You know, like... Wouldn't you want to? You know, like, wouldn't you test this? Because they did. They taught them, like, they were floating in water tanks and all that other shit.
Yeah.
And centrifuges doing all kinds of crazy crap. Because they knew kind of what to expect. And they were like, we need to get you, like, used to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, come on. The general audience, y'all all remember the training montage for Armageddon?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that whole thing. And I was like, you know what? That is so likely to be true. And it's not... It's like one of those conspiracies that I'm like, yeah, I can see that happening. Because it's not... the stakes of the consequences are very low. You're basically saying, like, did they practice it or not? You know, like...
Yeah, no, that's valid. I get that.
I was like, there's a conspiracy theory I can fucking get behind. Like, around, like, the thing of, like, how did these lenses pass and all that kind of stuff. Is like, well, because the guy that helped them figure out how to shoot it was Stanley Kubrick or something. And I was like, that's still probably total bullshit and that connection with the lenses and all that kind of stuff. But at least it's plausible. It's not some crazy crap like...
Well, I mean, we have astronauts that you could walk up to and ask right now.
Yeah, what was it like?
Yeah. Fucking zero grav.
Weird. Yeah.
How you pee in it.
Yeah. We got a little cup on it. You know, like, there's so much that went into that. And then, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson did this thing where he was talking about the guys that were on the moon and landed and were talking. He was like, the first thing that they said, they got off and they started quoting the book of Genesis. That's what he said. They start quoting the Bible. And he's like, Neil deGrasse, like, Tyson is, like, tearing up a little bit. Because it's so powerful of just, like, yeah, you are seeing Earth from the perspective that nothing ever has.
Yeah.
Save maybe God. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, that's it. You're the first person to ever do it. You're standing on the fucking moon, looking at Earth. And I was like, what do you say to that? You know, like, that's...
But the Earth is a donut.
Fuck, dude.
The Earth is a donut, and it's flat, and it's hollow.
Yeah. That is such also...
And green people live in it.
That is a perspective that you can only have if you are either, like, a person who has never left a tiny village in the middle of nowhere and have, like, zero education, or you are so innately privileged that you have never had to learn the practical things that would disprove all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, ask, like, a Filipino guy that works on a Hanjin shipping container boat if he thinks the Earth is round.
Right.
He'd be like, yes, fucker, I've circumnavigated it 20 times, moving these goddamn crates. You know, this.
My brain...
You know what I mean? You gotta be a special kind of fucking...
I told you, my brain can't follow the logic here.
Yeah.
Like, I spent the better part of 2 days just scrolling and reading and giggling through all of this because, like, it wasn't a small thread either.
No, it was probably an order of magnitude larger than the story itself. You know, like, that's... Oh, man. All right.
That's Agnes's story.
It's 2 paragraphs. The green kid thing is 2 paragraphs. And so, like, and I understand fully why you did not transcribe what was on the Reddit stuff, because it is fucking maddening.
Oh, yeah.
to engage with.
I'm, like I said, I don't engage with any of that. I'll talk to the 40K guys. I will talk to the cryptid dudes. I will talk to my anime people. I will talk to the K-pop crews, even the toxic ones.
Yeah.
I'm not engaging with these conspiracy kooks.
My God, dude. Anyway, this is Morbid Mondays.
Thank you for joining us on this ridiculous ride through to a folktale straight into conspiracy theories.
Fuck. Shit.
Where I needle my brother-in-law.
Morbid Mondays. She got me on a good, happy story. It turns out mostly okay. One of the kids dies, but the other one becomes like a member of nobility and is no longer green. And then we slowly devolved into the true morbidity, which is the human race and their crazy-ass ideas.
Hey, this is Brian from Morbid Mondays. If you like the show, please consider stopping by at our Ko-fi account. That's ko-fi/Morbid Mondays. It's $1 a month, or just any one-time tip. And if you would like to help us fund our future endeavors or just want to show a little bit of appreciation, awesome. Thank you so much for listening. And if you don't. Whatever. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening.